about the proposal process and a great proposal, and I gave you a template for winning clients, right? We talked about the NBAT and the 3 I's and all that stuff that should go into the proposal. But many of you have told me that, hey, I'm not a writer. This would make me look bad. I get it. I mean, I don't necessarily like to write, but I do write those types of proposals, and they work out quite well. But a lot of people need something a lot simpler. And to be frank, a lot of clients don't want to read through proposals. You really have to gauge what kind of prospect you're talking to, and then what kind of proposal they want. So I have come up with the ultimate quick proposal that answers all the questions a prospect will need about their project being completed. However, the only drawback to this is that it's a tabular proposal, meaning you fill out a table and it leaves no room for that previous proposal that you just learned about, which is the NBAT acronym, the I's, which basically get to the heart of why the client needs, or why the prospect needs this, and then what the issues are if they don't complete this, and how you can differentiate yourself from others. This is strictly a data tabular format proposal. I'm going to go through this, and if you want, once you get good at making proposals, you can kind of mix and match the two together. But this one will be really quick and easy for anyone to fill out, whether they're good writers or not. So let me just exit out of this presentation here, and what I'm going to do, let me pause this video. Here we go, just a quick pause, and I brought up the spreadsheet. This is in a Word document, and this is just a table, and this basically, like I said, answers all the questions a prospect might have. All right, so I put down a couple examples here for you, but basically what you want to do in the header here is type in the name of the project. We're going to use an example of a search engine optimization project, and then you insert the name of the company in the brackets, okay? So let's go from left to right in the columns, and you should be able to, in like 10 minutes, be able to fill out your own proposal with no experience and be able to answer all the questions a prospect might have. This is very powerful because a lot of times I win jobs just because I'm able to submit a full and complete proposal, when all the other freelancers have open-ended questions and they're trying to go back and forth with clients, and I can't tell you how many times someone has told me, Mike, you answered all my questions first go. You may or may not be the right person for this, but you're off to a great start. So I'm going to just go ahead and award you the project because I don't have time to fiddle with these other proposals. Time and time again, I've heard that. I don't think a 2-week period has gone by in the last few years since I've been using this very table that I've been awarded a project just because of the way I presented this. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to number each task. Now, let me just tell you what a task is. A task is, there could be a series of tasks that make up a project. So the project is search engine optimization for widget company, right? But then there's multiple tasks that make up those projects, okay? Or that project. So for example, search engine optimization, you need to do market research, you need to do keyword analysis. Again, these are just examples. If this is a writing project, for example, you would say something like market research would be a writing. Let's say you were hired to do a series of blog posts for a client. So it would be, the project would be 7 blog posts for widget company ABC. The first task would be market research. The second task would be title analysis, whatever the case. So we're going to use SEO for this example. So you're going to number them from 1 to however many tasks they're needed, from top to bottom, and I'll tell you why you're going to be doing that in a minute. And then the actual name of the task. Now, this is not something that should be too descriptive. It should just basically tell you what that task is, and if they don't understand, they being the prospect, they can look in the notes to get more of a description of that task. So the task would be market research. You know what that is. The client may or may not. Hopefully they do. But the next column is estimated hours needed. Now this is how many hours do you need to complete this task. Don't make it any more complicated than it is. I get people asking me, well, does that mean how many days? No, how many hours? It doesn't mean how many hours in a day, because the next column over is how many days you need to complete it. This tells the prospect how busy you are. So if it takes 20 hours to complete this task, but it'll take you 7 days to complete it. It might take you 3 hours to complete this task. It doesn't mean you're going to get it all done in one day, okay? So it might, let's just put this back to 20. So estimated hours to complete 20, but I'll need 7 full days. That means the client should expect this task to be completed in 7 days. And then any resources that are needed. So will you need anybody on the prospects team? So for example, you'll need access to the client's developer or the prospect's developer. I'm using client. So the difference between client and prospect, as you've known from working with me at Freelancer Masterclass so far, is that a prospect is someone who has not signed with you, and a client is someone who has paid you and signed a contract. Okay. So at this point, they're a prospect, or they may even be a client hiring you for another project. But so the resources basically says, I'll need access to your developer. I'll need access to you. I'll need your time. I'll need 3 hours of phone call time over this 20 hours or 7 days or whatever it is. And then the expected deliverable. What does this mean? Are you going to deliver this in a Word document? Are we going to have a phone call? What is going to come of this task? How am I going to know when it's complete? Well, I'm going to deliver you a Word document with a table of contents and a PDF version as well. Okay, so just tell them what to expect from this. And then any benchmarks for success. This is key, guys. Do not leave this blank. Every column here should be filled out, but especially this one, because you want to know why? Prospects and clients don't often know what a benchmark of success is. They're going to gauge you off this column. So if you're telling them the benchmark of success is, well, you're going to know all of your competitors and their pricing and their marketing communication message. I'm going to deliver you a market research report in a Word document that contains all that stuff. Okay. And then any notes that maybe these need fleshing out on. So you're going to find opportunities and set up methods for SEO marketing. That basically says, hey, this is what a market research report is. All right, let's use another example. Keyword analysis, search engine optimization. I'm going to need 25 hours. I'm going to need 4 days to complete this. And from your end, I'm going to need access to an SEO tool. I prefer SEMrush. It costs $79. That tells the prospect, hey, in addition to my proposal on what I'm going to be charging for this, it's going to cost $79 in addition to that. Now notice there's no price here. I don't like to break out the prices for every single task. So don't say, okay, it's going to cost 20 hours at X amount of rate. You're going to lump the one price into all this, because if you put prices on each and every row, some prospects are going to nickel and dime and they say, well, I can do this myself. I can do this myself, or I have somebody on my team that can do this. The problem with that is if somebody else does something for you and as a part of your project, you're dependent on the quality of that person to do that task for you. And then each and every one of the tasks that are dependent upon that particular task being done that they did for you is going to suffer. Your quality of their work is going to suffer as a result of what they did. So you want to just be sure to tell them, listen, the entire project, take it or leave it, is all 10 tasks here. This is what the price is. You can't substitute 1 or 7, and you can't have somebody else do this. This is what it's going to cost for all this to be done. Now, if I present you with 10 tasks and only 3 of them you're awarding to me, then guess what? The price is going up, because I had quoted my hourly rate is quoted as a result of getting all this done. Okay. If you want to piecemeal this together, my price is going up. I do that all the time. And frankly, I don't even really work with prospects anymore that want to piecemeal stuff together like that. But I used to do this all the time when I was working with clients like that. So anyway, continuing on, days needed to complete, 4 days for 25 hours. What resources? I need SEMrush for $79. And then what am I expected as a deliverable as a result of this keyword analysis? You're going to get 50 keywords, all analyzed and cost per click and whatever other information is going to be needed on there, just state it out. And then what is my benchmarks for success? Well, if I'm going to get you on page 1 ranking for at least 3 keywords by the end of year, EOI, end of year. All right, yours benchmark of success will be whatever it is. Just make sure you give a little bit of wiggle room there. Don't make it too aggressive, because you're shooting yourself in the foot, all right, for this benchmark of success. And then any notes, like this task is dependent upon the completion of task 1. That's very important. If any of these tasks are dependent upon another task, then you have to put that, because prospects will say, well, I really want this task done first. Well, then they'll say, oh, wait, I see here that it can't be done without this task being done. Okay? So this is going to be a really down and dirty, easy thing for you to fill out that answers all the questions a prospect will have, and it's very organized. And all you have to do is read from top to bottom. It's very important, though, that you take control of this table. Don't allow them to piecemeal. Don't allow them to negotiate down hours. This should be your honest assessment of each and every task. All right. And a lot of prospects to save money will say, well, let me try to do this one myself or that one myself. If they do that, if you're okay with them doing that, that's okay. It's not preferred, but tell them that the price goes up because your price is based on an allotment of hours that you are setting aside for yourself. And the smaller that someone offers them to do work, the more the price should go up. Think about it like this. Would you set the same price for a client that wants to hire you for 1 hour as 20 hours? No, you shouldn't. 1 hour should demand a very premium time on your price because you got to in-process that client. You got to learn more about them. 1 hour doesn't actually mean 1 hour of work for you. It usually means like 3. Okay, as opposed to 20 hours might actually mean 23 hours because there's stuff you don't charge for, like discovery calls, in processing, credit card fees, all that stuff that gets built into that hour. So the less you work for somebody, the more you should charge them. So when they negotiate down hours here on this table, you should charge them more. Okay, so enjoy this. This should be a very powerful addition to your freelancing business. Good luck.